Tariffs certainly changed the economic calculations.
That brings us right to the core of our discussion today.
Automation.
Let's quickly recap the main challenges.
Sure. First, the job impact. It facilitates reshoring, yes, but doesn't guarantee a one-for-one replacement of overseas jobs with the same kind of domestic jobs. Roles often need more technical skills.
Right. Then the cost.
The big upfront cost of robotics and AI, still a major barrier, especially for SMEs.
And finding the people.
The ongoing shortage of skilled workers, people trained in maintaining and programming these advanced systems. That 400,000 unfilled jobs number really highlights this.
And finally, some sectors just aren't ready.
Yeah, sectors like apparel, footwear. The tech just isn't there yet to easily automate their complex processes, leaving them more exposed to tariffs.
Welcome to Logistics Pulse, sponsored by Mothership. Skip the broker to save big on LTL shipments, or deliver same day nationwide. For more insights like these, don't forget to subscribe to Logistics Pulse on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Our goal today is to really understand how automation is making this reshoring trend a tangible possibility, especially with tariffs in place.
Think of this as your streamlined guide. Okay, let's jump in then. So why is automation proving to be such a game changer for companies looking to reshore?
Well, like you said, tariffs make importing more expensive. That should favor domestic production in theory.
Should being the operative word.
Because just slapping taxes on imports doesn't automatically make producing stuff in the U.S. competitive, does it?
Not at all. You've still got those pretty significant labor costs here.
We're talking around $25 to $35 an hour for skilled manufacturing workers in 2025. That's BLS data.
That's a big hurdle when you're competing with countries with much lower wages.
The National Association of Manufacturers, NAM, they estimate over 400,000 unfilled manufacturing jobs this year.
Enter automation. This is where it comes in, right? It's about using tech to fundamentally change that whole labor equation.
So how does automation actually do that? Cost competitiveness first. How can robots and AI help a U.S. factory compete when, labor's just so much cheaper elsewhere?
Automation drastically cuts down the need for a huge human workforce. Robots can be incredibly precise, and they eliminate a lot of the ongoing costs you have with a large staff. And what's really striking is seeing this play out in high-tech manufacturing.
Like semiconductors.
Precisely. Take TSMC's huge new plant in Arizona. They're using these incredibly sophisticated, mostly automated systems. And this level of automation, it's a direct response to the tariff pressures on imported chips. It makes bringing this super advanced production back to the U.S. actually make economic sense.
Tariffs provide the push, but it's the automation that actually makes the economics viable. We've all felt the pain of global shipping disruptions lately. How does automating production here help with that?
Tariffs can actually make things worse sometimes, risk-wise.
Yeah.
They make certain trade routes less attractive, maybe even unstable.
Like we saw with iPhones a while back.
Exactly. That disruption with iPhone exports from China, that really highlighted how, interconnected and vulnerable these global supply chains are. So by setting up domestic production using automation, companies just drastically cut their dependence on those potentially volatile international links.
If you make it here, you don't have to worry about it getting stuck on a ship somewhere.
Pretty much. If you can manufacture efficiently in the U.S. with automated systems, you're way less susceptible to disruptions from, say, trade disputes or geopolitical stuff, or even just the logistics headaches of moving things across oceans. A more localized and therefore more secure supply of essential goods.
Fewer overseas dependencies mean fewer potential failure points and rapid scaling. If tariffs suddenly make American-made goods super popular, can these automated factories actually ramp up production fast enough?
They're definitely much better equipped for it than, traditional factories that rely mostly on people.
Because hiring takes time.
Recruitment, hiring, training. Automated systems, though, can often increase their output much more quickly.
I'm guessing there are downsides. It can't be completely flawless, can it?
No, not quite. It's really important to acknowledge that automation isn't a magic wand. It comes with its own set of challenges. You've got whole sectors where automation still struggles.
Like clothing.
Apparel manufacturing is a great example. A lot of the tasks, intricate stitching, handling delicate fabrics, they need a level of dexterity and adaptability that's still incredibly hard for robots to do well consistently.
So companies like Levi's are kind of stuck.
Well, they're certainly more exposed to the direct cost increases from tariffs on imported clothes. We also have to remember the huge upfront investment needed. Implementing sophisticated automation isn't cheap.
Right, the capital costs.
And you need that skilled workforce capable of managing and troubleshooting these complex systems.
Let's dig a bit deeper now into how automation is actually being used across the supply chain. You said it's key for reshoring under tariffs. Maybe start with sourcing, finding materials.
Right? Sourcing and procurement. AI-powered procurement tools are becoming, well, almost essential for navigating this. These systems can chew through massive amounts of global trade data in real time,
To do what? Predict shortages.
predict potential shortages of certain materials because of tariffs, and automatically pinpoint cost-effective alternative suppliers.
If there's a big tariff on, say, imported steel.
The AI tool can rapidly scan the market, find U.S.-based steel producers, check their price, availability, lead times, and help secure that supply instead. Let's move to what most people picture: manufacturing and production itself. The robots on the factory floor. You've got AI-guided robots doing precision assembly, welding, complex quality checks.
Things that used to require lots of human workers.
Many of them, yes. And this not only cuts labor costs and boosts efficiency, but it also leads to greater accuracy and consistency in the products.
Which makes U.S. production more competitive globally.
These advanced robotic systems are designed to be pretty flexible. You can reprogram them.
So reconfigure the line for new products.
Yeah, or adjust to shifts in demand driven by those tariffs. But again, there's that big upfront capital cost.
Right, the bear.
Remains a significant hurdle, especially for small and medium enterprises, the SMEs, who just don't have the same access to funding as the big corporations.
What about storing them? Warehousing and inventory.
So automated warehouses are becoming essential. Think robotic picking systems, AI running the inventory management like what Amazon and Target use heavily.
How does the AI help with tariff impacts?
It analyzes tons of data, including forecasts of how tariffs might affect things, to predict stock needs more accurately.
So businesses can maybe stockpile domestic goods strategically. Final piece for today. Transportation.
Right.
With tariffs potentially adding to the cost of goods, getting them moved efficiently and cheaply becomes even more vital. What's automation doing there?
Freight automation is becoming super critical here. If tariffs are inflating the cost of imports, then optimizing shipping is a key place to save money.
Makes sense.
And AI platforms are being used to optimize basically everything. Finding the best routes, selecting the right carriers, consolidating loads.
Using data to find the cheapest, fastest way.
Essentially, yes. Processing enormous amounts of data to make those decisions.
Can you give us a concrete example? How does this actually save money?
Take a company like Mothership. They have an AI assistant for freight.
Okay.
It can analyze shipment details, origin, destination, lanes in under a minute. But what's really cool is it can proactively suggest the necessary accessorials.
Accessorials, like extra fees.
Yeah, things like needing a liftgate or delivering to a residential address, stuff that often pops up as unexpected charges later. They might seem small, maybe $66 on average, but sometimes they can jump over $500. And that adds up fast if you ship a lot.
I bet.
Mothership has saved shippers over $1 million in just those adjustment charges across tens of thousands of shipments. It uses data from like 50,000 freight lanes and 14 major carriers.
Wow, that's tangible saving.
Totally. So in a world where tariffs are adding costs, AI tools like this that ensure accurate quotes upfront and minimize those surprise fees become incredibly valuable for staying profitable.
That really shows how AI hits the bottom line in this tariff environment. Okay, so automation is clearly weaving through every stage. But, as we've said, hurdles remain. Let's just quickly recap those main challenges.
Sure. First, the job impact. It facilitates reshoring, yes, but doesn't guarantee a one-for-one replacement of overseas jobs with the same kind of domestic jobs. Roles often need more technical skills.
Right, then the cost.
The big upfront cost of robotics and AI, still a major barrier, especially for SMEs.
And finding the people.
The ongoing shortage of skilled workers, people trained in maintaining and programming these advanced systems. That 400,000 unfilled jobs number really highlights this.
And finally, some sectors just aren't ready.
Yeah, sectors like apparel, footwear. The tech just isn't there yet to easily automate their complex processes, leaving them more exposed to tariffs.
Are there potential solutions? Policy ideas, maybe?
There are things being discussed. Initiatives like the 2025 Manufacturing Investment Credit could help offset those initial costs.
Tax breaks, basically.
Yeah. And expanding workforce training grants, focusing education on AI and robotics and manufacturing, that's crucial for upskilling.
What about smaller businesses?
Partnerships could help. Working with third-party logistics providers, 3PLs, who already have advanced automation, or adopting AI freight platforms like we discussed to gain efficiency without buying the whole system themselves.
Okay, so looking ahead, what's the big picture view? Is automation really the driver for reshoring in this tariff era?
I'd say, without a doubt, yes. It's the key enabler. It's what makes large-scale U.S. reshoring actually realistic and economically viable with these tariffs in place.
It's not just cost, it's resilience too.
Absolutely. It's about building supply chains that are more resilient, more adaptable, more competitive overall, less vulnerable to all the global trade uncertainties. We've seen its impact now across sourcing, manufacturing, warehousing, transport,
The companies that will likely lead the way.
are the ones that strategically embrace automation. In 2025 and looking forward, businesses that strategically adopt and integrate automation are the ones set to lead this resurgence in American manufacturing and build truly strong, resilient supply chains.
Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.
For more insights like these, don't forget to subscribe to Logistics Pulse on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.